My name is Mark Bird, and as Superintendent of Wilkes County Schools, I have the honor of welcoming you to the 10th Annual Wilkes County Hall of Fame Gala. I've been fortunate enough to attend all 10 galas in some capacity, and I'll consistently leave feeling better than I did when I arrived, and I feel comfortable that you're going to do the same tonight. I would like to thank you for being here, and I hope that your support for the Wilkes County Hall of Fame will continue well beyond this evening. Since I mentioned this is the 10th annual gala, let me remind you once more that every penny raised from each of these has been used to benefit the students of Wilkes County Schools. Grants awarded to teachers earlier this year brought the total to over $150,000 that has been given to our schools by the Wilkes County Hall of Fame over the past decade. As we move toward our second decade, I'm even more excited to see how much that amount can grow. Successful Hall of Fames, as you know, are all about people. And I have the opportunity to introduce to you tonight our Master of Ceremonies, who has played a vital role in the success of all 10 galas. I hope you will take time to read his biography in your program, where you'll learn that he began his radio career at our own 3WC Radio while attending Wilkes Central High School. After a double major from the University of North Carolina, he later earned an MBA from UNC Greensboro while working for radio stations in Greensboro and Raleigh. In 1997, he began working in Tennessee, building the NFL's Titans network from the ground up, and by 2003, the radio network was the largest in the NFL. He currently serves as the president of Stonecom, which owns 8 radio stations serving the upper Cumberland region of Tennessee. Stonecom is known for a commitment to their local community and supporting kids, and you will see very shortly where those core values come from. In 2022, he was presented with the first Wilkes County Hall of Fame Legacy Award, and I believe that 2024 is his 38th year in radio. Each time we ask him what we should add to update his introduction, he always says the same thing. He says, talk less about me and leave more time for others. As I've said each time I've had the chance to introduce him, more impressive than what you will read on paper is the man you're about to meet. So please join me in welcoming a gentleman who should feel at home on a Hall of Fame stage, our own Mr. Larry Stone, Jr.
Well, since you said 38 years, we're definitely going to tell you to say less. It hasn't been that long, has it? You know, they do it at churches, they do it at schools, they do it at colleges, and every May we get the chance to do it here. It's homecoming night, and so many neighbors and friends coming together to celebrate what Wilkes County is all about. Sharing stories, telling tales, most of them are true. Honoring those who have meant so much to each one of us in this room. So welcome to our Hall of Fame, and welcome, and please join me in a round of applause, the 10th Wilkes County Hall of Fame class. And speaking of homecomings, how wonderful is it to have NASCAR back in Wilkes County. We are so fortunate to have the North Wilkesboro Speedway as our sponsor tonight for this special event, one of the core parts of the history of this county, and it's so good to have it back. And I don't know about you, but if you're from this county and you don't live here anymore, every time that television commercial comes on or that newspaper story about the upcoming race at North Wilkesboro, it just makes you feel good. So thank you, North Wilkesboro Speedway, for being a part of our evening here tonight. We certainly appreciate it. There is a lot of amazing work that goes into putting on this event. And before I introduce to you the members of the Wilkes County Hall of Fame board, I need to challenge you, because there are so many stories in this county that need to be told. And these Hall of Fame board members, they work hard to cull through all of the entries and all of the nominations that come out every single year. But we need more nominations. We need to tell more of the stories, especially those that are no longer here to tell their stories. So make a commitment to support this Hall of Fame and its work by finding those stories of those people who built this county and sharing those with the Wilkes County Hall of Fame Board. Nominate someone next year to be a part of the 11th class of this Hall of Fame. As I share with you the members of the board, I'd ask that they would please to stand at their table and hold your applause, and we'll recognize them as a group for their hard work in putting on this special event. Shana Williams, serving as president of the Hall of Fame Board. Tammy Love, please stand at your table. Betsy Whittington, Kevin Sheets, Arnold Lakey, Bill Harris, Connie McNeil, Evan Handy, Jody Call, Laura Elmore, Randall Parsons, Revis Feltz, Sharon Oxford, Stacy Neese, Mark Bird, David Johnson, Morgan Mathis, Ian Adams, Phil Stevens. These are the members of the Wilkes County Hall of Fame Board of Directors. Would you please give them a round of applause for their hard work? We'd also like to say thank you to the Hall of Famers who are already part of our classes, our 10 years of classes. Many of them are in the room with us tonight. If you are a member of the Wilkes County Hall of Fame, would you please stand so we could recognize you? Members of the Hall of Fame. As our superintendent mentioned, this is all about recognizing greatness, which this county has so long been known for, but it's also about raising money for kids. And we could not do that without your help. We could also not do it without sponsors, including Wilkes Communications, Absher Wealth Management, the Leonard Herring Family Foundation, and Farm Fresh Foods, LLC. Would you please thank them for their support of tonight? Now I'd like to call forward a Black Hawk, but that's all right. He didn't whoop us too much in sports in our time, but Randall Parsons will do our invocation as we begin what's going to be about 4 to 5 hours tonight of a lot of fun. I was just seeing if you were listening.
All right, would you pray with me, please? Father, we just praise you for another day and for all your blessings. God, we just praise you for the lives and the legacies of those individuals that we'll celebrate tonight. We thank you for this food and pray you bless it to nourish our bodies. In Christ's name, amen.
Big thank you again to Absher Wealth Management for sponsoring the dinner tonight and being a part of our Wilkes County Hall of Fame. You know, every year's class, and we mentioned this is class number 10, every year's class is a bit different. But I think as you watch tonight's class unfold before you, you're going to certainly see a very educational tint to this class, which is very fitting. After all, the Wilkes County Hall of Fame was formed for 2 reasons. Number 1, to raise money for education through this banquet and you being here tonight. But even more importantly, the men and women who had the vision for this event wanted to educate our young people. Specifically, they wanted to show Wilkes County students, no matter what part of the county they called home, they wanted to show them that Wilkes County students can, Wilkes County students do, Wilkes County students have. They can achieve, they do achieve, they have achieved. They've started companies, they've inspired others, they've served, they've led, they've achieved greatness, sometimes fame, sometimes money, other times accolades. Most of the time, they achieved glory for how they achieved. What that old-fashioned work ethic that we're so proud of here in Wilkes County, born on the farms of our community, born from Wilkes County parents and grandparents who made achievement non-optional. You can nod if your grandparent or parent made it non-optional. From a spirit and a resolute that comes from a real upbringing that we have in our community, where teachers and preachers and neighbors and classmates all do their part to make each Wilkes County student happen. Of achievement, it is said you can't hit a home run unless you step up to the plate. You can't catch a fish unless you put your line in the water. And you can't reach your goals if you don't try. This class and the other 9 classes before it exemplify that. Our hope tonight is to not only show you, but to show the students of Wilkes County in our school system today and in our school system down the line, 13 different individuals and their achievement and how they have taken their Wilkes County upbringing and made this world a better place. More than $150,000 in grant money has been raised from these Hall of Fame dinners, provided by you and hundreds of people like you who have supported the Wilkes County Hall of Fame, paying for things that some might consider luxuries, but the teachers who work so hard in the classrooms across this county, they consider them critical to reaching every single child in some particular way. Our partners at Wilkes Communications are set to take you behind the scenes of how the money you have given tonight will help.
I applied for a grant to get a couple more in-ground basketball goals for our school. We currently have one outside that's in-ground and one above-ground basketball goals. The kids really like to think they can dunk and hang from the rim of the one that's above ground, which always tips over and almost lands on somebody. So we're going to use the 2 that we got with this grant to replace that one out there and the one that the rim is falling down here. Sometimes I feel like grants for the electives can be harder to find. I appreciate that this grant gives us more of an opportunity to find funds for our classroom as well.
The grant I did, I named it Painting Smiles. Try to get some painting supplies that was more age appropriate to them. I didn't have any tempera cakes that they could use. A lot of the paintbrushes were really old and would fall apart while the kids were painting. I know some kids would hold up and be like, look, here's just the top of the brush. I was like, that's great. This is my first year teaching and my first year ever doing a grant, actually. It wasn't intimidating at all, and I just filled it out. It was a really easy process. I think it took me maybe 15 minutes to fill it out. I think it was harder to choose what I wanted to do it on than it was to actually fill out the grant. I was surprised with how easy it was, really. Having this funding set aside to build our programs, to show the kids that what we do is important and that they can get a lot out of what we do in these classes means a lot.
So we got a grant for it's the Cardinal Baseball Safety Net System. Really, it's for both baseball and softball. We were able to get the grant to get some netting that's going to go in our new hitting facility here, and it's something that's going to help a lot of student athletes here at East Wilkes. You know, we have over 200 student athletes. Softball and baseball particularly, you're looking at 50 athletes right there between our JV and varsity teams. All of this benefits everybody because it's just another facility that we can use. With this grant, it helps us to do some of the things to finish this building and a vision for a lot of people that have worked hard on this project. It just helps it all come into being, and we appreciate all that they do to help out.
Being able to apply for grants like this helps me feel like I'm doing better for our kids and our students, and stuff that my own kids will come through here that I would want them to have the opportunity to have access to.
Thank you guys for setting aside this money to support what we do and giving some importance to us and our programs and letting us give quality resources to our kids.
Yeah, I just want to thank all of the people that are involved with the Hall of Fame grants. It's something that definitely has an impact on our school and our community and all of Wilkes County. Hopefully it makes Wilkes County stronger as a whole, but again, we just appreciate all that they do for the athletics and the arts here in Wilkes County.
The arts, athletics, music, physical activity, creative writing, just some of the areas that have been impacted over the years with these grants. Ask yourself, what's your passion? And then help our schools bring that passion to a young person. On your table tonight, there is a pledge card. Consider taking that home and making a pledge to this Hall of Fame Foundation and the work that it does. There's also a QR code for those of you that love the technological world. You can scan that code and make a donation right on your phone. But most of all, consider giving and being a part of the work that's being done. Now, what we're here to do. The class of 2024 in the Wilkes County Hall of Fame. Our gala tonight presented by the North Wilkesboro Speedway. His work life when he got shipped out of high school started on the island of Crete. He served the U.S. Air Force as a Morse code inceptor, requiring a top secret security clearance. From interceptor, leaving the military, he came to Lowe's to serve in another top secret world, the burgeoning world of computers. Billy Bear learned early he would work harder and he would work smarter. It showed as he began his own company. And as Billy Bear traveled the country, he always opened with the same thing when he would talk to companies. I'm here to sell you three things: service, service, and more service.
Bill Bear, a real innovator. He has one speed, it's wide open. He likes to put challenges to people, but he's not going to ask anybody to do anything that he hasn't done or wouldn't do. He's a great guy, great family man, looks after his family, business family and personal family. Started East Coast Millwork. That was a big deal because it's helped out this community, this town. You put something in front of him, he wanted to conquer it. He chose a lot of the right people. It just grew from there.
One of the most enthusiastic, energetic people that I've ever known. I've never known Bill to sit still for long. He's encouraging, engaging. When you meet Bill, you feel like you've known him for a long time. I would think that if you asked Bill what his greatest accomplishment would be his family. I know he's unbelievably proud of all of his daughters, of his son-in-law, his grandkids.
Everyone that meets him loves him. He's just a good person. As an adult, I've had a lot of people tell me when they've met me out, oh, I worked for your dad. He was, just wonderful, so much fun, and Dad will tell stories, and sometimes I'm like, did you work or was it all fun?
My dad was so good to work for because he stood up for what the company needed. He thought the world of his employees. He believed that the employees kind of made the company, and he had a lot of people that really thought a lot of him in East Coast. He means a lot to a lot of individual people in Wilkes. Wilkes as a whole doesn't know all the things that he's done for people individually, but Wilkes knows of his integrity and his honesty. They know of his hard work. So a lot of times if you mention his name, they've got something to say, and I'm very proud to say that it's always really good things.
I don't know as I've ever known anyone that would work harder than Billy would work. And he was willing to put it all on the line, which he did, to get that business started. He worked for Lowe's for a number of years and used that experience to possibly hone his skills a little bit. While he likes to involve himself down on the coast, Wilkes County is where he belongs, and I'm sure where he will always be.
He's very proud of Wilkes County, and he's very proud of where he came from, and to him, I guess it's just home. They've created a lot of jobs in the community, good jobs, and that has continued. I think he means a lot to a lot of people.
He gives back to the community, gives back to the community even still, even after he retired. It's his home, and he takes care of his home.
East Coast started out in Elkin. They started out in a soybean field. I remember the little trailer. Wilkes was his home, and when they were able to bring East Coast back up to Wilkes as far as with the office and everything, he was really proud of that.
Billy has meant a lot to Wilkes County because he and his partner at East Coast have done a great deal to provide a host of jobs, most of them here in Wilkes County. He means a great deal to Wilkes.
It's where his family lives. I think he has a great pride in being from here. I'm sure have been opportunities that could have taken him elsewhere, but it's home, and I think the heritage and the community means a great deal to him. What a wonderful example of what Wilkes County is.
A friend said of Billy Bear, "It is a name recognized by our community as well-respected, inspirational, and a visionary leader." For those reasons, we welcome Billy Bear into the class of 2024 of the Wilkes County Hall of Fame.
I've always heard that they save the best for last, so I guess you got the worst first. I'm undeserving and humbled by this honor. I'd like to thank the many people that have helped me along the way, but time does not permit, so I'll just list the companies. Lowe's Companies, Seaman Molding Company, and ECMD, and last but not least, my wonderful family. No one ever worked for me. They worked with me. A company's most valuable asset is its employees. I always told our people, we don't pay you enough to be cursed or abused by anyone. One day, one of our customer service reps got a phone call from a gentleman, and I say that loosely, and it was blank, blank this and blank, blank that. Customer service rep said, "If you'll hold on a minute, I'll switch you to somebody that can handle your problem." So I got the phone call, picked up the receiver, same thing, blank, blank this, blank, blank that. I said, "Sir, you've got me at a disadvantage. Who are you?" He told me his name. I looked him up on the computer, and I said, "The problem is you're 60 days past due on paying your bill." And he gruffly said, "Well, they told me they was going to switch me to somebody that could handle my problem." And instantaneously, I don't know why I said it, I said, "Sir, do you shave?" And he gruffly said, "Of course I do." I said, "Well, the man you saw in the mirror this morning is the man that can handle your problem." I don't have enough light up here, I don't think, but I'm going to try to read what I've got here. It's not about if you're religious. It's about, do you have a saving relationship with Jesus Christ? It's not about how you've been treated. It's about how you've treated others. It's not about who you trust. It's about those that trust you. It's not about where you live. It's about how you've lived. It's not about how much money you've made. It's how you've made the money that you make work for others. It's not about how educated you are. It's about have you helped educate others. It's not about the car that you drive. It's about how much drive that you have. It's not about the jobs you had. It's about the jobs that you've created for others. It's not about the fine food that you eat, but it's about have you helped to feed others. It's not about the promises you've made. It's about the promises you've kept. It's not about you or me. It's all about others. Thank you.
It was the fall of 1962. A senior walking down the hallway at North Wilkes High School stopped by a teacher. The young man asked to step into the office. Rex Barker then shared the news of a new curriculum at NC State that he thought the young man should consider. The young man said he'd never thought about going to NC State. The next week, Rex Barker loaded that senior into the car and took him to Raleigh, took him on a tour. 4 years later, the young man graduated. He says that decision would not have happened without Rex Barker. Born into a farm family, raised by a farm family, focused on training the next generation.
Rex was always willing to reach out and touch people, always concerned, great interest in his church, wonderful family.
He raised 3 young boys. His wife, he lost her early on in my career knowing Rex, and his influence throughout Wilkes County, I don't think you can measure it.
I think he left a great impact that a lot of kids now come back and say, thank you for what you did for me. It wasn't all about just educating me, it's about life.
Being the 13th child, you'd have thought he'd just been a spoiled child. But I never did see that at all in Rex. Brought up in a little mountain community, farming and that type of work, you know, and that big a family, it took a pretty good amount of farming to keep a family afloat.
I think he was a great leader with being a commissioner and doing all the things he's done, principal and soil and water, to guide people in the right direction. And he's had an impact on what he's taught farmers about different ways to do agriculture.
Excellent church worker. That's mainly where I got to know Rex as well as I did, was through the church. He was a Sunday school teacher, he's Sunday school superintendent, he's a deacon of our church, and many roles, trustee, you know, many roles of our church Rex has served, and been an excellent leader, and shows his faith. You know without a doubt where he's coming from, and that he loves the Lord and willing to see that things, you know, to carry out the mission that God has laid out for us.
Rex led by example. Wherever he went in, he got your attention, whether he said anything or not.
When he was county commissioner, that was during the time that the planning of the new courthouse here in Wilkes County was built. The landfill, for instance, was, I think, during Rex's time of service with the county. But it gave him a great opportunity to use his education and his upbringing.
Knowing him and being with him through the years, he is a great hero for me and this county.
I think what he did in Wilkes County and for Wilkes County and continues to do will be immeasurable over the years.
When you work hard and give it your all, you get asked to do a lot of things, like serve on the county commission, like repair desks at the schools where he served, like volunteering for church and community projects. 2 decades almost leading Wilkes County soil and water work, like installing the first football field at North High. A teacher, a principal, a leader, a hard worker. For his service to Wilkes County, we welcome Glenn Rex Barker into the Wilkes County Hall of Fame.
That's a hard act to follow. But I do thank Mr. Stone, the Board of Directors, Morgan Mathis, and all associated with the Wilkes County Hall of Fame. It is my great honor, and I am totally humbled to receive this recognition. I thank my good Lord for all his love and kindness, mercy and grace, enabling me to be here tonight. I did not earn this honor all alone. I will name a few people who helped me along the way. My late parents, the Reverend Benjamin Harrison Barker, and Bertha Angeline Pruitt Barker, and my 6 brothers and 6 sisters. I was the last one, 7th son, 13th child. That's pretty lucky. My late wife, Nancy, and my 3 sons, Jeffrey, Eric and wife, Julie, Craig and wife, Donna, our grandsons, Jake and wife, Jessica, Presley, Luke, and great-grandson, Benjamin, and my fiancée and close friend, Faye Hutchison. Benham Baptist Church. My good friends, Ronald Bertram, Charles Wooten, and Claude Shue Jr. for their interviews in the video we just witnessed here tonight. The Wilkes County Schools personnel, students, and parents, and that covers 38 years I was in the school system. My fellow Wilkes County commissioners, the Wilkes County Solid Water Conservation District Board of Supervisors, and many others, too many to be named here tonight. There are 4 events during my 42 years in education and public life I will always remember and cherish. Number 1, my induction into the North Wilkes High School Hall of Fame. The dedication of the East Wilkes High School yearbook to me by the students near the end of my first year as principal in 1985. And of course, my induction into the Wilkes County Hall of Fame here tonight. And this, number 4, during the Vietnam War, 3 former North High students lost their lives. Johnny Osborne, Richard Hall, and Wake Miles. Charles and Wake were my former students. Shortly before being deployed to Vietnam, Richard visited me and other teachers at North High. I will never forget how proud he was wearing his Marine uniform. In those days, teachers of agriculture were expected to make home visits with their students. During such visits, I became acquainted with Wake's parents. And upon his death, I visited his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Garney Smiles, and they asked me to be a pallbearer for Wake's funeral. I honored their request. What greater honor could one school teacher experience? I might add this. I'm pleased to share the evening with 3 school system colleagues, Mrs. Brenda Dobbins, Mr. Marslau, and Mr. Steve Whittington, and my attorney, Mr. John Willardson. Again, thanks again to everyone.
Wilkes County sits a long way from the Carolina coast, but the eastern part of our county has seen numerous direct hits from a hurricane, Hurricane Brenda. In fact, it happened most days for 29 years across the campus of East Wilkes High School. Brenda Dobbins called a never-ending source of energy. She taught business education for 28 years. She taught home economics. She served as an assistant to the guidance counselor. She prepared a detailed athletic program for more than 20 years. She typed and duplicated materials for other teachers. She led FBLA. She coached the cheerleaders. And during her planning period, she worked with the newspaper staff. Exhausting? Not really. Just another day for the woman they call a hurricane, who inspires everyone around her.
Brenda Dobbins is one of the most hardworking, dedicated people that I know to the causes that she works for.
We both started at Lincoln Heights, and from Lincoln Heights, she went to A&T and graduated with a business degree. And after a couple of years, was able to get a teaching position here in Wilkes County and taught business at East Wilkes High School for 28 years.
So Wilkes County's embraced her to grow in being active. At that time, started out as a young lady. It shaped her where she could be active in doing things. It's helped her to grow. It's helped her also to learn how to do things that makes her happy and things that makes you happy also. But as time goes on, you get older, but you would never tell it the way her wheels turn.
She likes to see progress. She wants people to know where we've come from, where we are, and where we can go.
She has been on several boards for Wilkes. I know she's been on the Board of Elections. She's been a 4-H volunteer. She's very active in her church. She's very active in the community. So I know that she really cares about Wilkes County and the history, and especially of the Lincoln Heights history.
With Lincoln Heights, she is not only promoting what we knew when we were there, but also trying to instill in our younger people how we started. And the teachers there instilled in us to strive for the top, that we could do it, that nothing could hold us back.
She knows how to spell no, but she cannot tell you no. We need more Brendas in Wilkes County because she will go beyond the call of duty to get whatever task it is done. I think she's very deserving for this hat being tipped off to her. And I think and I know she will wear it well.
Never say no. So many examples in Brenda Dobbins' life. For years, she and her husband were weekend babysitters for anyone in the community who needed a break. And sometimes it went further than that. More than 50 children in the course of their lives, short-term stays that went weeks at a time. Just another example of caring. Just another example of why Brenda Dobbins is here tonight for induction into the Wilkes County Hall of Fame.
Thank you all. I'm usually behind the scenes, not in front. But I'm truly humble to the Hall of Fame Selection Committee, to Dennis and Jan for their nomination, and to my family friends, for your support. I do not understand why God has chosen me for the life He has given me, but I ask that He continue to empower me to faithfully serve where He places me. Protect my heart from envy over those whose path seems easier, and let me not lose compassion for those whose struggle is greater. Helping others is my passion, and that's what I deeply enjoy. Thank you.
(1936, 1962). Two legendary Wilkes County businesses had their start in the same industry by the same man. Carolina Mirror, Gardner Mirror, both here, making Wilkes County the mirror capital of the world, both led by Ed Gardner. And he and his family changed the mirror industry. What had been simply a piece of glass in a frame during the early years of the century became an artistic statement thanks to Gardner and the work that happened here in Wilkes County. But that's just part of the story, because behind every man is a woman. And when Ed Gardner looked in the mirror, he often saw Gertrude. Of course, Gertrude did not stand still very long. From her work to organize the Wilkes General Hospital Auxiliary, to starting the First United Methodist Church Kindergarten, to organization of 4 different garden clubs in the county, to the inception of the library, to the inception of the community college. The Gardners meant a lot to this county.
Mr. Gardner was very sharp, very smart. He remembered names. He was very personable with the employees. And I could always tell when he would walk through the plants, because he came back with a big smile on his face, and the employees loved him to death.
Gertrude lived a life of service. She wanted to be an architect, but in her generation, only men were allowed to be architects. So she got her teaching degree, and she was a teacher until she was married. And then she couldn't teach anymore. So there were roadblocks for young women, and I think that was part of her work and her service, was to organize different organizations and different things in the community to give women opportunities to serve.
Early on, they were just taught the importance of a good work ethic and a higher education. And so that was just their approach in life. And they both graduated from high school, they both went to college, and then in 1936, they started their careers here in Wilkes County. My grandfather started Carolina Mirror Corporation on what was the old FCX building on B Street in North Wilkesboro with 20 employees. And my grandmother jumped right in at the First Methodist Church and the Women's Club, the garden clubs, and just moved on from there.
There was actually room for 2 mirror companies in this town, and being a small town, there was still room because they were not competing directly with each other. And to think that he started both of them is pretty remarkable.
They had over 500 employees when he left in the early 60s, and that was the largest mirror manufacturing plant in the world.
Gertrude would hope that her becoming part of the Hall of Fame and her story being shared may inspire other young people to step out and live their dreams, or to step out and create their own organizations of help for the community. Just to be inspired by her story, I think would be so meaningful to Gertrude. She was very much an advocate for education for all of Wilkes County. And she helped to start the Wilkes Regional Library. She was the Friends of the Library. She was very much a part of starting the community college, the Wilkes Community College. She really, I think that was just part of her, because she really could not work like employment like that she turned to service for the betterment of the people of Wilkes County.
It was really an endeavor of love for me to go back and look at all the things they were able to accomplish in their lifetime in Wilkes County, and really think about the impact that they had on my life.
They died within months of one another. Upon Ed's death, the Journal Patriot wrote, "Because of his modesty, Wilkes County will have a difficult time understanding just how big this loss is." May the students of Wilkes County now better understand the legacy of the Gardners, Ed and Gertrude, the newest members of the Wilkes County Hall of Fame. Please welcome, accepting on behalf of the Gardners, the granddaughter, Donna Hurd.
I am Donna Hurd, and Ed and Gertrude Gardner were my maternal grandparents. It's nice to be back in Wilkes County tonight. I see familiar faces I've not seen in a very long time. Thank you, Bill Harris, for calling me in 2022 and explaining the goals and objectives of the Hall of Fame and suggesting that I might consider nominating my grandparents. It was a wonderful opportunity and really an endeavor of love to re-examine their lives late in my life. To my sister Patty and me, they were just our wonderful grandparents who lived next door and thought we were perfect, although my parents had a different opinion. But however, in recreating their timelines with arrival in North Wilkesboro in 1936, they spent 50 years as a couple working and participating in the industrial sector and civic organizations for the betterment of a developing community. Our grandmother died during the summer of 1988, and my grandfather followed her 4 months later. They had met in high school, and after spending the majority of their lives together, he could not see his way forward without her by his side. Wherever they are this evening and whatever they're doing, I'm certain they have given pause for this well-deserved honor being bestowed upon them. And speaking for them, my sister and me, many thanks to the Hall of Fame Board for choosing them as members of the class of 2024.
In his application to become superintendent of the Wilkes County Schools, Marsh Lyle said he believed that all school-age children have a right to a free public school education. And for that to happen, the community must come together to provide adequate funding. From that belief, Lyle brought the Wilkes County Schools into a new era during his 12 years as leader of the school system, bringing computers and labs into the classroom, automating the finance department, getting air conditioning in the schools, new maintenance and food service facilities, working to establish a foundation to grow the school system's financial base, all the way to ultimately leading the charge to the middle school concept and the construction of new schools across our county, a large financial commitment to get students educated. It's all not bad for the man who just calls himself a boy from Cricket.
I met Marsh when he was named superintendent of schools in 1982. He had applied for the superintendency of schools, and naturally we were all interested in and excited about who our new superintendent might be. As we got to know him and as we met him, he was just such a warm, friendly, outgoing person. We just felt that we had made a real good choice for Wilkes County Schools.
A truly honest man who was always friendly and encouraging, and his true character really of compassion and honesty and integrity was played out at work as well as at home.
He and I grew up together up here in the cricket community, and once we got finished with West Wilkes, we went to Mars Hill together. Mars Hill was like a lot of other schools in that they had a meal plan and a good cafeteria. The food was unbelievably good. We were constantly looking for people that we could get meal tickets from. Well, one particular day at the cashier was this beautiful girl. I didn't pay a lot of attention to her, but Marsh did. I said, you know, she's in a perfect place to get us meal tickets. She counted up what we got and tore out our tickets, and I said, by the way, I want you to meet Marsh Lyle. And she looked at him and looked at me and said, well, hello, Marsh Lyle. And she said, my name is Pat Sechrist. I said, Marsh, I want you to meet Pat Sechrist. From that point on, they've been together. And it's been 60-some years. After that, they were inseparable. Pat went on to be a legendary school teacher, guidance counselor. Marsh went on to be a teacher, a coach, a principal, and a superintendent of schools. He made education move leaps and bounds in the 80s and 90s as they needed to be good places for our kids to grow up.
He has a very warm, kind personality and loves to interact with the local people. His knowledge of education, his dedication and commitment to education was second to none.
I just appreciate having had the privilege of working with him. He was a truly honest man.
I can tell you without question that Marsh Lyle is the finest person alive, in my opinion, and I'm very pleased to have been his friend all of these years.
So what we know now is that Pat truly was Marsh Lyle's meal ticket to success all these years. 34 years as an educator, a teacher, a coach, but more than that, someone who truly enjoyed interacting with young people. He was not just a suit in the office. And once he left Wilkes County, he continued his commitment to education, working with the state. For his commitment to educating Wilkes County young people, we welcome Marsh Lyle into the Wilkes County Hall of Fame.
Many of you know Gerald Langford, and he always has a sense of humor. We've known each other for a long time, and he is a true friend, and I thank him for those kind remarks. And a lot of what he said was the truth, so I appreciate him sharing that story. I want to thank Mr. Stone for his kind words and for his introduction. I want to share with you in my comments tonight the spirit of the people of Wilkes County. You're going to hear me mention in my few minutes that I have here, words like gratitude, words like encouragement and love. the epitome of all of the contents of this county, of the fine people who live here, for which I'm proud to call home. First, I'd like to begin by commending the Wilkes County Hall of Fame Board of Members for their excellent work and for their partnership with the school system to inspire not only the students but the citizens of Wilkes County as well, for their contributions and for the added opportunities that students have, and for teachers to expand and enrich their program. And from my experience and for the time that I spent in education, that was just a great opportunity to build and support the school system, and I thank them for that. I want to say a special thank you to my parents who brought my sister and my brother and myself up in a Christian home. My mother, who had a sweet spirit, who loved everyone. I'm so grateful for them and for the heritage that I had here in Wilkes County growing up, and for all of the support that was given and shared, and the encouragement that was given by those who taught us and those who led us and who were leaders in the community. And by the way, as we think about mothers, let me remind you that this coming Sunday is Mother's Day. Take time to tell your mother you love them, love her. Our mothers are special, and mine was indeed to me. I'm especially thankful for my wife that Gerald talked about. We met at Mars Hill Junior College, as he just shared. I fell in love with this beautiful lady, and she changed my life forever, as most wives do for us men. We have been blessed to have been married almost 64 years. She has always been my strongest supporter, my best friend, and I love her even more today. And I thank God for Gerald Langford introducing me to Patricia Sechrist. I thank God for my 3 children, for their husbands and wives. We've been blessed with 6 grandchildren and their husbands and wives. And we've had a blessed addition, our first great-grandson, for whom we look forward to getting to know in a very short time here, as he is still very young and having been born just a few months ago. All of our members of our family have brought much love, for which we as a family have pulled together, have been united, and is one of the greatest joys of our life for Pat and myself. I'm also grateful for the outstanding leaders who have in our community, who have gone on before us to set the pace, just as we just heard from the gardeners here, and many others who have given us a good example to follow. And for our leaders for today, those in our Chamber of Commerce who work closely to promote education in our county. For those who are serving as government officials, we thank them for their work. For the foundations like this and others, the Wilkes Education Foundation, for which I'm so proud of, and for their accomplishments. For the leaders of our civic clubs and organizations, for directors of many agencies who assist individuals who have need for a helping hand, and for individuals across this county also who have made our community strong by encouraging and promoting growth and development in our lives. The spirit of the Wilkes County people who have come together to promote a positive attitude and strong support and many accomplishments. I'm also grateful for our public schools, for which I've had the privilege to be a part of, for our community college, and for the opportunities that I've had to work with students and who were eager to learn, parents who wanted the best for their children, gifted and talented teachers who work so hard every day to teach and to encourage and to enrich the lives of students, for our outstanding principals who have visions and direction for our schools, for knowledgeable administrators, two of whom you heard speak here on the screen, who have contributed much to the development of our school system. We also want to express appreciation for Board of Education members with a vision for success for all students. Working together brought about high achievement and success for students. One of the greatest joys of my work in education over 34 years was to see the interaction of teachers and students in the classroom. The excitement of students learning and the teachers' love for their students. That's where, as the old saying says, the rubber meets the road, where learning takes place and love is shared. I would be amiss if I didn't thank all of my friends and neighbors and the citizens of Wilkes County for their love and support for me and my family throughout the years of my growing up here in the county, working to serve others and to learn and to grow in my own experiences, and serving in the community that I call home. And finally, I'm grateful to God for his many blessings, for all of our pastors, our church families that have, all of those who have ministered, taught, and encouraged and loved each of us on our journey in life. We need that added strength and encouragement to be taught to grow our faith. After all, our goal in life is to encourage each other and to love one another. A quote from the scripture, which is very important and one of the most important points for which I will share. When Jesus was asked, "What is the greatest commandment?" Jesus replied, and many of you know this by heart, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment, and the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself." Thank you for this special event tonight. I'm honored to have been included in the 10th class of the Wilkes County Hall of Fame. You have encouraged me, you have loved me, and I can't express my appreciation enough for each of you being here tonight. May God richly bless each of you. Thank you.
It started in elementary school. Keith Miller says he can remember the excitement around North Wilkesboro as the Eagles got set to take the field at Memorial Park. If you didn't have a seat by 6:30, don't waste the time. You weren't going to get one. The love of sports, and maybe more of that. Maybe it's really more about the love of spirit. It was cemented for Keith Miller watching the 1962 Wilkes Central team win the Western State Football Championship. That's where it began. He started bleeding green and gold. And yet many people support their favorite teams. But how many people have raised over $1 million to support Wilkes Central Athletics? The annual drawdown event, the new end zone building, the weight room, equipment, uniforms, you name it. How many young men and women have been able to pursue their sports dreams with the green and gold thanks to the sweat and hard work of Keith Miller? It's pretty simple, really. A relative of Keith Miller's would often tell anyone who would listen, Keith sure is a good boy.
Keith has given his most valuable asset that all of us have, which is his time, to all the volunteering he's done.
Between his involvement in the church, involvement in the school, and just involvement in the community, he is a very big part, and he's touched so many lives around the community. Yeah, he just does a lot of things that people have no idea that he's involved in and does. So he's just always out there helping others.
I think he's very proud of Wilkes County. He's invested in Wilkes County. He's invested in wanting it to be a better place for the people that are growing up in it, leaving it better than what he found it. And you can see that in his work through his church, through his family, the local community, through supporting the different groups and organizations that he does.
Keith was born, raised, educated in Wilkes County. I think it means everything to him. He's just devoted his life not only to working here, Gardner Glass Products, for 41 years, but still found time to volunteer for so many good causes.
He's watching kids play now of parents that he watched play, you know, or even grandparents and everything. He's been announcing a long time. They named the announcing box at the football field after him this past year at Wilkes Central.
He's the voice of Wilkes Central, but he's more than that. I mean, he's involved in the Booster Club for, you know, raising funds or coordinating, probably more coordinating now, but I'm telling you, what he does is just unlimited. People don't realize it, that he had broadcast over between the football, basketball, baseball, I think it's at over 1,000 games since 1999. It's hard to find people like that, so he's a very important part of this community. He loves people. He loves the county. He wants to see it prosper. I truly feel like he enjoys being involved with people. You know, obviously, you know, he's been doing it for a long time and he's still doing it today.
I would have to say his family and his faith. A member for years and years at Oakwoods Baptist Church, volunteers there as he does everywhere. Very proud of his family. I think that would be his biggest accomplishment.
A coach, a church leader, a teacher, a choir member, a PA announcer, a fundraiser, a friend to so many people. And for too long, this Hall of Fame has moved forward without the most noblest of careers, a broadcaster in its midst. No more. We welcome to the Wilkes County Hall of Fame the voice of the Eagles, Keith Miller.
Thank you for all those kind words, Larry Jr. I'm in awe tonight. I'm just so elated, so privileged, so appreciative of everything that's been said about me this evening. First of all, I want to thank God for giving me so many opportunities in life. I want to thank my family. They're all here tonight. Even my extended family's here tonight. And I love them so much. They're so special to me. You know, I started thinking this week, I started thinking about what I have done for Wilkes County. And I thought, well, you know what? Maybe I need to rephrase that. What has Wilkes County done for me? I was born here. I was raised here. I was educated here. My children were born here. They were educated here. My wife was not from Wilkes County, and I hope she doesn't regret coming here either. But I don't think she does. But I've been so blessed to have been surrounded by so many people. Someone once told me that your success is measured by who you surround yourself with. And I've certainly been blessed to been surrounded by great people. Now, as Larry Jr. alluded to, you know my love is Wilkes Central, but I've coached many young men and women through the years in softball and baseball and basketball and football from the West District, from the North District, from the East District. I think the world of them as much as I do any others. You know, when you think about the people that you have been associated with, you think about the type of people they are and the type of families they're from. Wilkes County's noted for that. You know, I once heard that there's a difference between being a character and having character. And Wilkes County families have character. I cannot express enough of the people that I have associations with throughout the years. I still have them today, over 50 years. I still have kids, adults, that come up to me and refer to me as Coach Miller. The late Kay Yao, the longtime and legendary coach of the North Carolina State Wolfpack women's basketball program for years, in her latter days, she was being bestowed a lot of accolades and recognitions. And she responded, it's not about the awards, it's more about the rewards. That's my sentiments exactly. Because I've been so rewarded throughout the years by being associated with families and the young men and women that I've coached, the people in the booster clubs throughout the years. The last 25 years at Wilkes Central, I've been involved. And we built great relationships there. Still some of the best friends in the world. A lot of them are here tonight. My former employer was honored here tonight. My current employer is here tonight. Some of my best friends are here tonight supporting me. That is my reward. Nothing is more important than that. I'm going to end tonight by saying something. And I appreciate all the Wilkes County Hall of Fame Board does. I appreciate the recognition. But my ultimate goal is to hear that my Lord and Savior say, well done, thy good and faithful servant. Thank you.
Sometimes we welcome people to the hall who grew up here. Sometimes the people who grew up here and left and achieved amazing things. Then there are the people who choose us. People who saw what a special place Wilkes County is and decided they wanted to be one of us. The rumor is that people find out that John Willardson was born in California and say, no way, you're normal. You can't be from California. But he is. A UNC Chapel Hill graduate, 6 years of service through the Army, UNC Law School graduate in 1973, off to Wilkes County to begin his law career, and for John Willardson, a resume of service.
John Willardson is a great attorney here in Wilkes County. He's also a very service-minded individual, someone who is willing to work with the youth and with the older people and all people of all walks of life in Wilkes County. And I believe John Willardson was very instrumental in Wilkes County having a new YMCA up on Highway 268 that all of us enjoy today.
I would say that John Willardson is probably one of the most community-minded people. He just wants people to be connected to things that they're passionate about, things that he's passionate about, and just kind of instill a sense of community and engagement in people around him. He's been a great mentor to me, and he's got me connected to a great organization, civic organization in this community, and just kind of helped me get to know Wilkes County and really become a part of what this community is.
He's almost too helpful sometimes. He's just always looking for a way to help his fellow man and help his friends. John moved here not knowing anybody, made himself a home here, made new friends, new associations, got fully involved in the community. And I would think the thing that makes John most proud about what he's accomplished since he's been here in the last 50 years is just his involvement in all phases of our community, whether it be the YMCA, the Kiwanis Club, North Carolina Bar Association, both local and state. Several organizations he's become part of over the years and given his all to those organizations.
John is a person who's willing to go first. He's willing to put himself out there to try to get the work done. He's currently serving as the attorney for the town of Wilkesboro. He's just made himself part of the community. He's not had the benefit of having family here that he grew up with, but he's made us his family. And I think that that's important, that we have him here in Wilkes County.
John was part of a group that helped the Y join the association that we're a part of now out of Winston-Salem, and that made all the difference in the world. I don't believe we would have a YMCA if John and others had not recognized that. He certainly has poured a lot of heart and soul into this community and to the causes that he believes in.
John has truly been a vital part of the growth and improvement to our county throughout the 50 years that he has lived here. The contributions he's able to make in our community aided so many people, helped so many people over the years that he has truly adopted our community as his community. He sees this as his home.
In fact, John Willardson's commitment to the YMCA, helping to save the Y in this community, he was awarded the YMCA's highest honor, the Red Triangle Award. And maybe his best contributions to the Y, according to the rumors, are cooking hot dogs at Merlefest. They probably don't do that in California. The newest member of the Wilkes County Hall of Fame. Please join us in welcoming John Willardson.
What an honor. Something totally unexpected and greatly appreciated. I want to thank, I know who the two individuals were that placed my name in nomination. That's Jenny Richardson and Diane Stone. So thank you for that, but thank you to the board for bestowing this great honor. I can't say enough about Wilkes County, what it means to us. As you heard, I am a native of California. but we have been here since 1973, and we're not leaving. I'm so grateful to the people of this county. I'm grateful to Caroline Whitson, to Chuck Forrester, to Les Dyer for your kind remarks. I have another family here, and that's the town of Wilkesboro. Mayor Isom and his lovely wife, Councilman Andy Suits, and staff from the town of Wilkesboro here in support. I'm just so very grateful. And I also want to recognize my son, Drew. We're very proud of him. He's a practicing lawyer here in town. So thank you for this great honor. I know I'm near the end of the program, and you all are tired of hearing the remarks probably of so many, but know that this really is a great honor. I cherish it, and I thank you.
The Whittington brothers loved football, but they saw a need for young people to come together and learn the game. Turned out the lessons were much more than the game of football. These three men started the Wilkes County Yellow Jackets in 1974. Mark, Stan, Steve, volunteering, teaching so many young people over the years, generations of Wilkes County young men who learned the basics of life while competing for titles. 45 plus years of service for these three brothers, the Whittington brothers.
Without those guys, who knows where a lot of young men in this county would be. Their motto was, we'll play anybody, anytime, anywhere. And they stood by that. And no matter where we went, we always seemed to excel. That was due to the Whittingtons and their organization and the skills that they had, not just the football coaching skills. It was just the skills of training these young men and their drive to want to allow any kid to participate and be able to play was just amazing to me.
They did a lot of winning. I mean, the team I was on in the 8th grade was undefeated, but I think they were more about seeing the people win off the field than on the field, to be honest with you. They gave us a lot of skills at the time I didn't know they were giving us. They taught us about work ethic, dedication, all these things that we learned on the football field that you can take out into your life. I mean, I went on to run a boxing gym and I saw myself, I knew all these things and I'm like, where did I learn this? And I'm like, oh, it came from the Whittingtons, the football program. And they didn't put up with nonsense, they didn't put up with laziness, but they were always kind and they always made you feel like they cared about you. They loved football. That was important, but I believe they loved people. And I believe that they were trying to make the world a better place in the way that they could through what they knew. They knew football.
Mark coached the quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers. Stan and Steve coached the offensive, defensive line, and then Mark also coached the defensive backs. When you look at the three brothers, you can look at them individually, and each one of them have their own accomplishments individually. But with respect to what they have done for youth football in this county, they have operated as one united team, all sharing the same passion and the same goal.
They don't realize, I guess, really all what they have done, creating constructive members of society. I don't know anybody has anything bad to say about them. I mean, just because they were all, I don't care what your mama drives, what your daddy drives. If you can play football, you'll play for me.
There were some kids on our team that came from bad situations, and they made sure that they had equipment to play. They made sure that if they needed a ride, they got it. They made sure that if they needed food, they got it. I know that they did that for reasons other than football, and that's the men they were.
When I think back of why they do what they do, Wilkes being a very rural county, When you look across the state of North Carolina, the opportunities here for youth and sports interaction is not as great as it is in other areas of the state. They took their gift, their passion of football, and shared it with thousands of young players, teaching them the value of hard work and dedication and effort and teamwork and how far that goes in life.
Whatever you needed, those guys would have. These men have done so much for so many. It's just time that we're able to pay them back.
Maybe what the Whittingtons meant to this county is best summed up by those who played for them, two of them. Quote, "They pushed me to be the best that I could be, unlocking a confidence that has maintained even today." Quote, "I've taken the lessons they taught me and showed myself that one person can make a difference in a kid's life, and not only in sports." For those reasons, we welcome Mark, Stan, Stephen Whittington into the Wilkes County Hall of Fame.
I don't know how you follow what those three really great football players said about us. Kind of makes you kind of humble. 45 years went by really quick. And for those that say we haven't aged, they better look at those pictures again, because something happened. I want to thank Andrew, Wayne, and JT for the kind words. Also, I'd like to thank some coaches that we had growing up that helped put us on the right track. Coach Hoffman, Coach Branch, Coach Gross, and Coach Patrick from Wilkes Central. And from North High, Coach Earl Eller. These gentlemen, I hope at some point in time will be in the Hall of Fame if they're not already in the Hall of Fame. They kind of molded our attitude towards football and dealing with young people. I also want to thank the ADs that helped us all along the years. The one that stands out is Randy Joins. We appreciate it. We've got three organizations that have always backed us. One, the Wilkes Rescue Squad, which was always there when we had games. Wilkes Recreation Department maintained our football fields, both practice and game fields. And Wilkes VFW, who, when we did not have a place to play football, came up and offered their facilities. We actually put in a full football field on their facility along with practice field. And it was one of the better fields we played on during the years. I also would like to thank the parents that entrusted their girls and boys with us over the years. Yeah, we had a lot of good girl players on our team. And what we always told our players was this: the best 11 will take the field. We don't care what your last name is. We don't care where you come from. The best 11 will play. But everybody has the opportunity to earn that slot. The other thing we used to say is, if you give us 100%, we're not going to worry about what happens. But if you give us 99.9 and we get whipped, then there's going to be a problem. So it worked real well. I will say this about the parents. You hear a lot of horror stories about parents now. I think in 45 years of coaching, you could count on one hand the problem we had with parents and probably have a couple fingers left over. That means that we were very blessed with good parents. you don't realize how much parents are involved with young people. They get them there at practice, they get them at games, so they really is part of the backbone of your program. The kids themselves. We taught the kids a lot, but they taught us a lot. And to see these people grow up and become good citizens, we have some that have become preachers, some have been police officers, school teachers, a whole broad spectrum of careers. You know, we'll be at a service station, somebody will come up and say, "Coach, you remember me?" He's 6'4" with a beard. I said, "Well, you look a little bit familiar. Keep talking." And then when he finally says that, you know, who he is, I can picture him back when he was so high, which I guess kind of dates me in a way, and us too. I also am very proud of one other thing. In 45 years of coaching, we only had one penalty called on our staff.
That wasn't my fault.
That wasn't his fault. It was a total misunderstanding, but still, that's not a bad record, 1 in 45 years. So, you know, I got to say that, you know. I don't blame you, Stephen.
It wasn't my fault.
And I'd also like to thank our families. It took a lot of time away from our families. We practiced usually 4 days a week, usually had a game. We also ran a bus service basically for kids, make sure they got to practice and got home. And it took a lot of time, and we really appreciate the understandings we got from our families. We've been very blessed in that area. So I said this is going to be short. So I've got one story I want to tell you, and it really doesn't have to do with football a whole lot. We played in a league in Charlotte, and we played high-end private academies, church schools, regular middle schools, anybody would play us. Well, when we traveled, we usually had to pick the kids up right before school let out or right after. So they didn't have time to eat. Normally coming back, our coaches basically acted as buses. We'd always feed the kids. Usually it was McDonald's, it was Hardee's, or Burger King. Well, I don't know if anybody remembers a place called Fat Boys in Mooresville. Well, that used to be one of my favorite places. So we played down there one evening, and we were coming out, so we said, all right, we'll treat them. We'll go to Fat Boys. Well, Fat Boys is a buffet. It's a barbecue buffet. They have like 3 kinds of barbecue. They have fried chicken, barbecue chicken, hamburger steak. They have French fries, baked potatoes, mashed potatoes, salad bar, which they didn't really care for, and then a dessert bar, which had ice cream, cookies, pies, and cakes. Well, we had 15 kids with us when we walked through that door. And you know, not a single kid had ever been to a buffet. Not a single one. And when we told them that it's all you can eat, it was kind of like Christmas. And about 40 minutes later, they had depleted a lot on that bar. And I'll just always remember the look on their faces. I mean, a lot of the kids we had came from homes that they didn't have the money to do stuff like that. Well, on our way out the door, I noticed some of them stuffed French fries in their pockets. So, you know, and cookies, okay, that's fine. Well, a few days later, I was cleaning out my cab of my truck, and I found chicken bones. But they had cleaned them off so well, they didn't smell. So, you know, that was a story that doesn't really involve football, but it's kind of makes you feel good. But we want to thank the community for the support they've always given us. It seemed like anything that ever came up that we needed help, we got help. And so we really appreciate it. And this award was totally unexpected, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Are you inspired? Ladies and gentlemen, the Wilkes County Class of 2024, the Wilkes County Hall of Fame. We have a couple of presentations that we'd like to close tonight with. If I could ask Shana Williams to come up and join me, and also Arnold Lakey, Jody Call, and Tammy Love, if you could come to the front. We've said on a couple of occasions just the importance of the board that does the work to bring this event all together, and these are three members of the board who are stepping away, many of them dating back all the way to 2016, and have really made this event and this Hall of Fame what it is. Shana, I know you want to say, where'd you go? There she is.
I'm hiding behind you, sorry. Thank you. Yes, so Arnold Lakey, Jody Call, and Miss Tammy Love. Come on over here, Tammy. These three individuals, I guess I've been here almost 7 years. You've been here how long? 9? Same, yeah, all of them, 9 years. So I've been here about 7. You guys just have no idea how much the three of these people have done to grow this Hall of Fame, the things that have been implemented and changed. It's been a true dedication of love from each of them. So we just really want to, do I have plaques or something under here? Give y'all something. This one's for Mr. Arnold Lakey. Mr. Jody Call. And guys, I'm going to speak for one more second about this lady. Miss Tammy Love, this event, this gala for the last 3? 5? I'm getting old, y'all. 5 years has been extremely, extremely instrumental in making this all come together. She organizes all of us that are on her committee and makes sure that we are well informed and very involved and to help her, but honestly, she has done 98% of it the whole time. So Tammy, thank you so much for all you've done. Smile for a picture. Thank you, guys. So the Wilkes County Hall of Fame Legacy Award is next. And this was created to recognize those that have made a significant impact for the great state of Wilkes through exemplifying inspiration, service, and dedication to our community. As we get ready to reveal the 2024 recipient, I would like to share a little bit about them. It all started nearly 75 years ago with a group of individuals that saw a need to make a change for the betterment of their rural community. While the world has changed greatly since 1949, this organization has continued to innovate and bring necessary services to keep our community connected with those near and far. They have invested in the well-being of Wilkes County every step of the way. Their products and services ensure that we learn, communicate, share, that we stay connected, whether it's in our schools, our hospital, our businesses, or our homes. To them, it's about the people, taking care of their members, adding value to their lives, and giving back to our community.
I think broadband, was phone. Now broadband is really part of how you service a community for just basic needs. And so, like you have county government and the towns, in the hospital and the community college and the schools, are really part of this ecosystem that helps takes care of really the quality of life, the basic things that you sometimes take for granted that we have here. And I think we've been very fortunate in Wilkes to be one of the most connected counties in the entire country.
It's a circle. You know, we're all doing things for each other in our community that we live in. If the co-op does well, the community does well. The community does well, the people in the community do well. It's about the people, all of the people.
The only reason this co-op got formed is because no one else would come here. In rural environments, there's not enough customers trying to make a business case to provide service in these areas. Large for-profit companies, you have to have about 30 customers per route mile. We average less than 3.
That's what a telephone co-op is. We're going to rural areas where people that don't normally have that service or the services that they need for a particular thing, whether it's phone line or security or broadband internet. And that is our goal here at River Street, is to provide people that don't normally have internet, not just internet, but high speed and quality internet, to be able to do the things that people should be able to do.
Our focus is to make sure that we're taking care of our members, we're giving back to the communities we serve. We donate a lot of our proceeds to local charities, local organizations, and we have a massive scholarship fund that's risen up to $40,000 a year.
I love that time of year when scholarships come in through the mail or any way they can submit it, and then when the awards are announced, how the parents feel, oh, that is awesome. Every little bit helps. To know that our co-op readily gives that and spreads that among our members is a great plus for me.
And so we were primarily in one county. When we merged, we brought on 3 other counties. We're now 68 counties and parts of 5 states. We're currently building, networks in 16 counties in Virginia, all the way from Richmond to the North Carolina border, meeting up with a partnership with Stokes County, North Carolina, where we're building to every unserved customer in that county. The next 5 years, we're going to double, if not triple, the size of our customer base. And that just makes the cooperative more secure, more financially stable, but also it's doing the things that we've done here in Wilkes to help impact this community and doing that in these other communities. And so we hope to bring what we've done here in Wilkes to all these other places.
I would now like to welcome to the stage the perfect representative to accept this award on behalf of Wilkes Communications, as this person invests his personal time and heart in our youth through volunteering as a coach in various rec sports and other areas in the community. Mr. Scotty Bayer, field engineer for Wilkes Communications. So on behalf of the Wilkes County Hall of Fame, I would like to recognize Wilkes Communications as this year's Legacy Award recipient. Come on up, sir.
I appreciate the introduction. I nicknamed Miss Williams' son Bulldog. He's an excellent soccer player, so look forward to having him again. First and foremost, Wilkes Communications would like to extend their sincere gratitude and appreciation to each board member and representative associated with the Wilkes County Hall of Fame. On behalf of our board members, executive and management teams, along with each employee at Wilkes Communications, it is a great honor and privilege to accept the Wilkes County Hall of Fame 2024 Legacy Award. Since our incorporation, employees have maintained the high level of 2 characteristics that generate continued involvement in the wonderful communities in Wilkes County. Those traits are 1, having the mindset to serve, and 2 is embracing the pathway of opportunities that are set before us. Wilkes Communications has the distinct pleasure each year in assisting the community with not only reliable service needs and customer support, but have also been fortunate to participate and partner with multiple community organizations. To mention just a few, as it was shown on the video, those include the Hope Ministries, both corporate and employee contributions to the United Way, donations to upgrade the playground facilities at Mount Pleasant Elementary School, assisting Boomer Ferguson Elementary School with their teacher appreciation, as well as the HOSA at West Wilkes High School. As an employee, my personal favorite, and my wife being an educator in the educational system in Wilkes County, is the scholarship program for Wilkes County students, where just this past year, 24 students were granted scholarship funds totaling $24,000. Obtaining the title legacy in any area of life, whether it is your personal life, corporate life, or your individual, you must incorporate these ingredients of having a mindset to serve and embracing pathways of opportunity. And it is the intent of Wilkes Communications to forever possess these qualities. Again, it is an honor to accept this award, and to the Wilkes County Hall of Fame, Wilkes Communications would like to say thank you.
Big shout out before we close tonight to Morgan Mathis, who worked so hard to put this together from the school system. Would you please give Morgan a round of applause for her hard work? Please take home your programs. This is a great keepsake. It is also a reminder of those community partners who support this Hall of Fame, and support those who support our kids when you have a chance to do business with someone. Also use that program to share these stories with young people in your life, so they know that the greatness that is all around them, they one day can be the same thing in the great state of Wilkes. Drive safely, enjoy your night. Thanks for being with us tonight.